Is this on? Are you on? Are we on, America? Texting. Is this? Hello, Mr. BBD. How are you? Welcome back, boys and girls. We are back in the sack. It is a Tokum Tuesday here. It is a sweltering. It's summer. It feels like summer right now.
I apologize.
You do it all the time.
I started texting.
Why do you even apologize at this point? It's your talent. It's what you do.
I'm sorry.
How can I fuck this in? We're about to go in there. Wait, let me just get this out real quick.
After I was talking about how we're going to start the show off with some love for being back. You hit record and I'm texting.
And he's doing what he does best.
I'm sorry.
Picking up where he left off.
Hey, this is how you want it.
The redoubtable one, Tom Izzo. Welcome back. Missed you, buddy. Missed this guy. Hope he had a great
Missed
Fourth.
you as well.
Yes. Hope the family had a great Fourth up in Long Island. They did record, people. We will explain what happened. I think one of these is actually going to get dropped. It's going to get posted. I'm looking forward to it. Every day I was waiting. Oh, come on, today's the day, right? Today's the day. And it never would come out.
I wanted to show you up and have a bunch of episodes.
I was waiting.
To be like, I've been all over Long Island recording.
I was nothing. And I'm like, what is he doing? I'm like, there better be a communication problem with the mic. That's the only excuse I'm taking. But they did record. How many shows did you actually do?
We did two.
Two legit.
To quit.
And then one that you just kind of...
We did two sessions.
Okay.
A little more than an hour of recording.
Mm-hmm.
One of them came out with no sound.
And that, I'm told, was the funny one. Right?
The first one was funny, too. It just wasn't as good. You know,
that's remember that episode that we did that was probably the best episode we ever did?
Me, you, and Joel?
No, it was just me and you. Early on, it was fucking epic, and
there was no sound?
The mic was blinking. We were muted the whole time.
No way that was our best one.
Dude, we were crying after that we couldn't. We were almost crying. We're like, you gotta be kidding me. It'll never be any better than that. It was perfect.
But anyway,
it was gold.
You know, then there was a little bit of should I post, should I not? My cousin John, his mouth was running a little fast.
They got some cold feet. Cold feet up there in Long Island.
Talked to him yesterday and he said, just post the shit.
Okay, well, I'm looking forward to it, America. And hey, 2 more subscribers. We are up to 33. And by the way,
the sacred number. And it's not about Jesus, baby.
No.
It's not. It's about Larry Bird and Patrick Ewing.
Who ironically on the Dream Team developed a very budding friendship, and they were known as Harry and Larry.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's on the Dream Team video. They became close friends. And Ewing didn't like him because he didn't know anything about him, because Bird would talk trash during the game, because if you didn't know him, you'd be like, that motherfucker. You'd hate him. But then Patrick Ewing was like, I saw him behind the scenes. He's a lot different than I thought he was. He was actually very caring, told a lot of jokes, and he totally, he's like, Bird surprised me.
But Ewing was also kind of a prickly, too, right? Like,
he was old school.
Ewing wasn't like a big love bug.
Was old school Boston.
He was
by the way, Georgetown, that fucking Hoya team, one of the greatest college teams. He was intimidating. Mm-hmm. He was a man. And by the way, his coach John Thompson, ex-Celtic. Ex-Celtic. Yeah, he won 2 world titles.
Talk about
he was Bill Russell. He was Bill Russell's backup.
Really?
Yeah.
So John it wasn't Thompson. That good. It wasn't that good.
He was backing up
sure
Bill fucking Russell.
All right, but he never played, right?
No, he did play, but he was Russell's.
No, that's what I'm saying. Usually the backup to the greatest center of all time is not going to be good.
Anyone in any sport the guy you're backing up has 11 rings.
No. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying he couldn't have been that good, right?
I don't know, because that's the guy who was in front of him. You know what, though? Bill Russell was also great because of practice, so this guy probably beat him up. Maybe he made Russell better because he was tough. Yeah. And by the way, Red Auerbach said this. Red Auerbach said on many occasions that John Thompson was one of the toughest players he ever coached. So if you're getting praise from Red Auerbach, the Godfather himself, you're good.
John Thompson was intimidating.
Yes, he was.
At the end of the game, his tie would be all down.
Dude, that towel on the side, like he was going to whip you with it.
He was like, motherfucker.
Oh, he was bad, dude.
Yeah. And the whole team felt like
There was one time, because at the height of the Big East, Georgetown and Syracuse had a major rivalry. And Boeheim and him didn't like each other.
Oh, yeah.
And there was one game where they had a set. I was hoping Thompson was going to clock Boeheim. I fucking never liked Boeheim. My best friend's Jimmy, God love you, miss you, pal. I got to see him before, who played for him in '96. And he always talked about what a prick Boeheim was. I knew he was a prick before my friend ever went there. And I was proven right because he was even a bigger prick than I thought he was, according to my friend. They get along now that they're both old men. But, I mean, the bottom line is Thompson had a chance, and I thought he was going to drop him. Right on the court, right in the middle of the Big East tournament. And
he was going to drop Jim Boeheim?
Oh, yeah. They had to be. Dude, they were.
Is that when they were being separated?
Yeah. And Boeheim played college ball, too, at Syracuse. He played
Talk
Division
about a
One.
prick.
He was a prick.
Jim
Boeheim
was a prick.
Prick in every. Even remember that last
Prick and a
press
half.
conference? Yeah, he's a prick.
Oh yeah, the retirement
Yeah,
press
what a
conference.
piece-
What the
like
fuck?
you actually want to show him some appreciation. I mean, you had a great career, and even up to the end, you know, he gives you every reason to hate him.
Yeah.
He gives you every reason to hate him.
And
It's like-
John Thompson was prickly as fuck too, but I would have been rooting for Thompson.
Oh, I would have given
Boeheim.
anything to see Thompson drop him. I would have. This is before my buddy played for him, and
It didn't seem like Thompson liked anybody.
And my father, God rest his soul, we were watching Jim play his junior year on TV. They're in the Big East tournament, and Jimmy gets in the game. Now he's a junior now in college, and my father looks at him. My father coached us. My father helped him get the scholarship, and my father goes, "He's bigger and he's faster, but he's no better. He's there 3 years." And I'm like, what are we talking about? It means this guy's a recruiter, like we always say. He's not a coach. This guy, you look at Dean Smith and Krzyzewski and Roy, all these great college coaches. The players get better when they're better as seniors than they are as freshmen.
He's saying his kids don't.
No, Boeheim's just
They
a
don't
recruiter.
develop.
They don't develop. He doesn't develop players at all. He does not.
But he knows the game, right? Like, I mean, he seems like
He
an
knows X's and O's, but in terms of player development, no.
and like building a
He
team.
could just recruit because it's Syracuse, it's the Orange Men,
But didn't
it's
he
the
make
Big
it
East.
that? He made it that, right?
The Big East made it that.
But he was there.
He was there, but when he was playing, Syracuse wasn't that big of a deal.
Oh, yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
the
yeah.
Big East Conference took off.
I'm talking about 90s,
yeah,
right? Late 80s.
No, the whole
Oh,
through
the whole
80s.
80s.
The whole 80s, 1979 to all the way through.
So when did Boeheim start coaching? 80?
At the end of the 70s, 78, 79.
Damn.
Yeah, he's been around a long time.
He's been at Syracuse since the late 70s?
Since he played for them.
When
He's been there.
did he start?
He's been there almost 50 years.
Dear God.
He played for them, and he went right into coaching after he finished playing.
That's right. He was like 21.
He was a graduate assistant. He never left the bench.
That's crazy.
He was there 50 fucking years. So, you know, you want to give a guy like that props because he had an amazing win-loss record. He did win a national title. He got to 5 Final Fours. He was, I mean, look, he was successful whether I like him or
Not like he was a shit coach.
No, but he couldn't. He
pretty
never. He
fucking
was
good.
not good at developing players.
Yeah.
But the greatest example
I'll
is
take your word for
the
it.
greatest example is was Jerry McNamara, who he won the title with Carmelo Anthony. They were the top 2 freshmen, or two of the top 3. LeBron was the other one. LeBron went pro. It was
McNamara
LeBron,
stayed 4 years, didn't he?
and he destroyed him. And McNamara was down to 2 choices: Duke and Syracuse, and he chose Syracuse. And if he had gone for Krzyzewski, he'd have been the next Bobby Hurley. Probably
You
even
think so?
better. Yeah, he was the best guard in America. He was the best point guard in America.
And
that's why they won the national title that year with freshmen. It was him and Carmelo, and they won the national title. And then Carmelo left, and he just got worse. And I mean, he just deteriorated over 4 years. Boeheim did not make him better at all. He's the best example of it. But Boeheim could recruit talent, man. Sherman Douglas and Rice Likely. Derek Coleman was a left-handed Karl Malone, for Christ's sake. Billy Owens. I mean, he just had talent. Carmelo. Jerry Mack. He got players for 4 decades.
Yeah.
But eventually his act wore thin. And
thinly worn act.
Yeah, but he did because he'd still win 20 games a year because Syracuse still had a reputation. They moved to the ACC, which helped him recruiting much as the Big East fizzled.
That was weird, though. I hated when
they had to do that. When the Big East failed, they had to do that.
But so one thing that, and again, I think we're still in the middle of the Open.
We are. This is IDD, by the way.
Great to be back.
Yes, I don't disagree. I missed your ass.
I haven't seen him in
10
more
days.
than a week.
10 days.
Which was a little long.
We recorded, me, you, and Joel.
Was it on a Wednesday? No, you left on a Thursday.
I left Thursday. It was Wednesday night. So it was over a week and a half ago. It's almost 2 weeks. Because today's Tuesday. It would be 2 weeks tomorrow. So it was like 13 days I haven't seen him. Yeah. So, yep.
Didn't really talk sports at all.
I was, but
I'm talking about
we have not. No, we have had radio silence because I figured he was on vacation. I didn't want to bother him, but I also thought I would see him. So hopefully, anyway, I thought I'd be dropping recordings. So anyway, that's all right.
Dude, and the fucked up part is from the time I left for New York till the time I came back, the Mets won every game.
That's the thing. And Skinner, I brought this up to Skinner. Like, they won 6 in a row. I thought he'd be have more to say.
I left on Saturday. They won that night.
Yep.
They won all the way through Friday.
And
so,
we recorded. We recorded Saturday morning, and they hadn't lost yet. They had won 6 in a row. And I said that, and I'm like, I thought he'd have more to say. They've won 6 in a row. And then Skinner goes, "Go Mets!" And we're just like,
oh, he said that?
Yeah, he said that. He says, "Go Mets" at the end of the. Yeah.
Shit, I must have. I must have turned it off.
Yeah, I forget what.
Unless it was a different segment.
It was one or two. I forget which. It was at the end of one of them. So anyway,
Dude, I was feeling good. I was feeling good about
They've
the
won
6
six in
wins.
a row. They were looking like they're starting. And look, they might come out of this and stay. Look, I didn't think they were going to win 20 in a row. But when I said that they were going to eventually make a run, I thought it could be something where they win like maybe 16 out of 22 or maybe 17 out of 25 or something like that. That
If
kind
they
of
play like they played last week, that could happen.
That could happen. I'm saying
That's
I never
just-
thought.
it's such a big if because the issue is the starting pitching.
Yeah.
The issue is the age of the starting pitching.
Yeah, those guys are past.
Scherzer and Verlander,
They're past their prime.
they've hit a stretch where they've pitched well.
Yeah.
But you can tell it's not going to be consistent. If it is, I'd be surprised. And that's possible. They're both Hall of Famers. They're fucking amazing people. But if you seem tired the whole first half, I don't think you're going to get refreshed in the second half.
All right, hold on.
It's going to get worse.
I don't disagree with that. Oh, there it is. But let me say this.
So you don't fully agree with it.
No, what you're saying is valid, but what I'm saying is I have seen
just agree
examples.
with it.
I have seen examples, and again, the ones I'm thinking of are older NBA players who start slow because they're older, but then they hit their stride around mid, and then then they're better at the end of the season. And age is a big deal because it takes them a little while for the engine to get started.
Really?
Yeah, as they get older. I've seen that a number
so
of
you've
times.
seen that.
So I've seen that. So I'm saying maybe, just maybe, this is that. Because I've seen it in baseball too with guys as they get older. Like Jim Rice, for example. As he got older, it would be later and later in the year before he'd finally start swinging the bat the way he's capable. But then whenever he did start, he would still carry it through the year. But every year, kind of a little bit later and later, he's got into his 30s.
So here's the only issue with that.
And I'm not saying it's going to happen.
No, I
that's
agree.
what's
I'm sure
happening.
there's credence to that. However, with Scherzer, for the past 2+ years, he's shown at the end of the year, he gets dead arm.
Well, whatever
He
happened
couldn't
to
pitch for the Dodgers
let me ask you this. Before that playoff game,
whole September.
was he bad the whole month? Okay.
He lost. So he was hurt most of the month. So Scherzer got hurt early in the season, missed 7 weeks, came back, then got hurt beginning of September. Was out 2 weeks, came back for the Atlanta series, shit the bed. Right? That's what lost them first place. Shit the bed in Atlanta. Then his next game pitched was game 1 against the Padres. We give up 4 or 5 home runs, 6-0. Boom. And now
So we saw there were warning signs. Okay. All right.
There's been warning signs.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
So that's why, like,
Is he 38?
yeah.
Okay.
And he is a bulldog. I'm coming after you pitcher.
He reminds me of John Lester back in his heyday with the
Maybe.
Red Sox. Lester
Just
was
fight,
a
like, I'm going to throw
bull.
my
He was like a bull.
fastball by you.
Yeah, he was a bull in a china shop.
Yeah. And then you get older and your
Clemens
shit's
was
not
like
as good.
that. Clemens was like that.
You got to learn to pitch differently.
Yeah, you gotta
because
become a better
You
pitcher.
can't hit 96 when you want to.
Yeah.
anymore. So
I always admired Greg Maddux because I don't remember seeing him ever hit 95, but that motherfucker was so accurate. He could paint.
but see, he wasn't a bulldog.
No, he was a calculator.
I'm smarter than
He was
you.
a tactician,
Yeah.
is what he was.
I'm gonna pick you apart.
Pedro was unique. Pedro was like, because he had that in him, but he also had the fastball. And he was little, which made it weird, because I got a little fucking throw a 98-mile-an-hour fastball. But he was like Maddox, too, where he could, if he wanted to paint, he could fucking paint.
Oh, God.
And so Maddox was the tactician. Pedro had a little bit of both in him, which is what made him unique. But with Scherzer, he's like the bull in the.
Yeah, he's
that dude. I can overpower you. And in his prime, that's what he did for most of it. So yeah, but to his point now, where he's older, you've got to now start manufacturing outs and innings, and you got to be more of a tactician because you don't have that kind of sustainable power.
He's giving up too many home runs because he's not pitching.
Yeah, he's throwing.
He's fucking throwing.
He's throwing. That's a
And
very
it's
good
like,
point,
dude.
That's a very good
No,
point.
you can't just throw whatever pitch. You got to really make sure you make the right pitch because your shit is not that good anymore.
You have a 38-year-old arm, not a 28-year-old.
Right.
That's the difference. And he's got to know that.
Right, and he's going in there and he'll throw a hanging slider, boom, home run, and then he goes, oh, maybe I just missed that slider. Throws another hanging slider, boom. No, come on, dude, your slider's not.
I'll tell you who's
93.
not missing it. The guys at the plate
Yeah.
doing the conga line right now.
Yeah,
Come up with
it's
something
like-
else. The gyro ball. Do something.
But anyway, the Mets did play really well. They swept the Diamondbacks.
Yeah. They swept the
They swept
Diamondbacks.
the Diamondbacks. Yeah.
I was like, holy shit.
They won 2 out of 3 from the Giants.
That was the first disappointment because I figured when that happened, you were gonna be recording that fucking night. After that, I'm like, all right, we're gonna
After
see
they
something.
swept the Diamondbacks?
Yeah, I thought you were gonna be like, holy fucking.
No, I
shit.
know, dude. Dude, they swept the Diamondbacks and we're still 6.5 out of the 3rd wild card. Still 5 games under 500.
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, Yeah, that's great. You won 6 in a row.
It's a big hole.
Like you said, win 17 out of 22.
Yeah, something like that.
If you really want to put a dent.
No, they're going to have to go on a stretch like that where they play for a month. They go like 20-5.
And Philly,
something like that.
Philly, who's holding one of those slots, I think they're going to start to go like this.
Did you notice that? There's some signs that they're starting to dip a little.
Well, I don't know, because they just went on a rampage.
At the end.
Yeah.
But they were playing kind of up and down, up and down.
So here's the thing. Taijuan Walker has been awesome for them.
Yeah.
They signed him from the Mets.
Yeah.
Past 2 years, Taijuan Walker has pitched like an all-star. Well, really, 2 years ago, he pitched like an all-star, and he made the all-star team.
Yeah.
First half.
Yeah.
Second half, different pitcher.
Yeah.
Tired. He'll get there.
So we'll see.
So maybe
again,
the Mets can fight.
I'm just saying,
I don't know.
they've won 6 out of their last 8. That's a start. Maybe this break came at the right time. You know what I mean? They lose it 2 hours. Let's go to the break and regroup here. So with the Red Sox, I never thought I'd be doing this, boys and girls.
I'm so pissed at you.
On the All-Star break. I thought they wouldn't. I think they'd win 40 games all fucking year. Alex Cora, manager of the year.
Guy.
Alex Cora is manager of the fucking year. I don't care what you tell me.
All right, can we
There's
fucking
no
take Alex Cora from the Red Sox?
You probably will, because they're dumb enough to let him go. But the thing is, look.
He got caught in a cheating scandal.
Yeah.
No,
that was in Houston,
They
though.
said, go away for a year, and then they said...
Yeah, but he was in Houston when that happened.
No, I know. I'm just saying he's that good.
Yeah.
That he got caught in that. And they said, look, take a year off. We'll hire you again once we get rid of this schlep.
The smoke blows over.
Right. I mean, he is a great manager.
He is a great manager. And
And
look,
never look at the Red Sox and go, what a great group of talent.
No, usually they have talent, though.
Usually they have talent, but usually they have, like, guys I never fucking heard of.
But they've also got guys
That's
like
true.
Manny and Poppy and fucking. They've had Clemens.
But I'm
and
talking about their most recent.
They've had
one.
heavy hitters.
The most recent one, it was like Betts and one other person.
Betts
and
is a
bunch of guys.
stud.
I know, but it was like him and a bunch of guys.
No.
I'm giving them credit.
But JD Martinez is not just a guy. He's on the All-Star team for the NL.
Jesus Christ, you got to prove me wrong.
I'm just
JD
saying.
Martinez was old by the time he got to the Red Sox.
And he's still playing at an All-Star level.
No, I know. I'm not saying they didn't have people that were good, but so many times they would just have like random dudes. And
Papelbon.
Who the fuck is this?
Papelbon was a stud. Papelbon.
You're talking about when they in that first era. I'm talking about the most recent.
Papelbon was on part of 3 of those 4 teams.
I'm talking about the Betts teams.
That's 2018. Yeah, that's the one he was.
Papelbon was not on.
No, he wasn't. He was on the previous 3 though.
Yeah, right.
So
I'm talking about these last teams where they have been good for the past 4 or 5 years with people that don't.
Well, Chris Sale until he fucking got.
Chris Sale hasn't even pitched for them.
No, but when the Red Sox got him, he was the most coveted name on the free agent market.
Right, and then he never pitched for them, and they still were good.
They won a World. The first year he was good, the World Series. And after that, he hasn't.
Did he pitch for y'all good?
Yeah, he was good. Yeah, that was the last year he was good.
Okay, I didn't realize.
That was last year he was healthy.
I didn't realize he was actually.
That was the last year he was healthy. He hasn't been healthy in 4 years. Literally, he hasn't been healthy in 4 years. He has not played a full season.
But didn't they win with guys like Kiki Hernandez and shit?
No, he wasn't on that team. He was after that. They got to the AL.
They got to the
ALCS.
Yes.
And that was literally not. They didn't have one ace.
That's what I'm saying.
They had that was
two.
2. They had the greatest run by a middle relief bench I've ever seen.
Who'd they lose to?
They lost to who was it? They were up and they lost. They were up 2-1. They lost 4-2. Who the
they
fuck
go to
was
the
it?
series or
they lost in the ALCS to
maybe it was Cleveland.
I want to say it was Cleveland with Terry Francona.
Who was that 2016?
No, it was 2020.
2020.
It was 2 years after the World Series, and they still had Betts and they still had
who
guys.
Did Cleveland lose to in the finals then in the World Series?
I want to say it was Houston, but I don't know.
So you're saying this loss? It couldn't have been Houston.
It wasn't Houston. No,
it
was not. I'm thinking of.
I only remember Cleveland playing the Cubs.
I don't remember, but I know that they were in the ALCS.
Okay.
They were up 2-1 somehow,
Yeah.
and we were saying, how do they keep this up? They don't have a starter. They don't have an ace. They literally, when they went on their run, which started about like 40 games, 50 games in, and they literally
must have lost to Houston.
The starter would go 3
They
or
lost to Houston, and then Houston lost to the Nationals.
Maybe that's what it was.
That was it.
Yeah. The starter would go 3-4 innings, and he'd give up 4 or 5 runs. You got to set your watch by it. But from the 4th inning on,
they'd lock it down,
and they'd come back, and the bats would wake up because their offense was ridiculous. It was like Toronto's offense now. They fucking would eventually wake up and they'd win 6-5 or 8-6 or 7 like that. That's how they won all year. And like they can't keep this up.
Teams like that are a pain in the ass,
Yeah.
but they're exciting.
They were exciting, but we kept saying they can't keep this up. They don't have a fucking closer and they don't have an ace.
Yeah.
How the fuck you can only? And they got all the way. This is how good a manager Cora is. They got all the way to Game 6 of the ALCS before they finally bit.
Well, every game is uphill when you play like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
he just knows how to manage a lineup. Like for everything that you get on fucking whatever his name is,
Buck Showalter has not managed the lineup well at all.
Alex Cora is the polar opposite of him. Yeah. Literally, he's the polar opposite of him, and he's doing it again now because they are 2 games out of the wild card. I never thought in that division they could be this competitive with what they have. I never thought, and they've got 1 All-Star, and it's not even Rafael Devers. It's not even Rafael, the one guy you thought would have made the All-Star.
Is it Yoshida?
I forget who it
is. Dude, he might be Rookie of the Year.
He's been awesome. He's been awesome.
He might be Rookie of the Year.
And he's been great. And look at that
was a great fucking signing.
We've been trashing the GM, and
that's true.
There was a guy.
Is it John Holmes?
No, it's Cheek or Sleek or something Storm. Whatever, I forget his damn name.
What?
Chaim something. It's CHI something M. Hold on, I can't look at Jaime?
Is it John Heim?
No, hold on. Let me hold on, I'll pull it up.
It's John something, right?
It's Chaim Stewart or something.
Hold on, that's the owner?
It's the GM.
Oh.
Hold on.
Chaim, huh?
Hold on. Let me just Google Red Sox GM. That's the same.
Why do I think it was like John Hart?
It's weird. Hold on.
I'm thinking of the owner, aren't I? What's the owner's name?
That's John Henry.
John Henry. John Heim. What an idiot.
Wait, it's not him. Current GM.
So Ozzie Albies at the plate in a big situation, and he grounds out. See, you know what? I always like. This is such a fucked up part of me as a fan. It is fucked up. So like, I like seeing Braves in big spots in the All-Star game not come through.
Yeah.
Because I hope that it leaks into their season.
Yeah.
You're not listening.
This is fucked up. No.
This motherfucker didn't hear shit I just said.
Listen.
He knows it. And he wants to deny it. But he fucking knows it. Go ahead. What do you have there?
Well, I'm trying to figure out the fucking name of the manager.
I thought it was the GM. Oh, damn. Oh, dear God. Edit it out. Oh, man. Hairball.
Sorry, America.
Choked himself into a loogie hairball.
Anyway. You disappear to take a piss half the time in the show. So me hawking a phlegm. Anyway, Brian O'Halloran.
What the fuck are you talking
That's
about?
the Red Sox GM. It's not the guy.
Why did you say Chaim? What? No.
Chaim Bloom. That's the guy. Chaim Bloom.
Red Sox team president Chaim Bloom.
Chaim Bloom.
Oh, so he's the team president.
Team president. So that's where
weird. Supposedly he tells the GM what the fuck to do.
Yeah. So here's the thing, though.
Steve Cohen in his press conference said he wants to hire a president of baseball.
Yeah, this guy was brought in to clean up a very poorly destroyed payroll, and rebuild through the farm system, which quietly he has done.
It appears
there's only one bad contract on this roster right now, and it's Chris Sales.
Yeah, that's not his fault, right?
It's not his fault. He didn't sign him.
Right.
But they can't move him. Nobody wants him because he can't stay healthy, so they kind of stuck with it. But he had 6 good starts in a row, and then he got hurt. So what do? It's like Bill fucking Walton. Actually, that's an insult to Bill Walton. It's just an insult to Bill Walton. Bill Walton was a league MVP.
It's like Bill fucking.
But Bill Walton could never stay
My dad
healthy.
used to crush Bill Walton.
Bill Walton is a 2-time world champion, a league MVP. He won league MVP and 6-man award.
I think my dad just didn't like him.
Of course he didn't like him. He was a big pot-smoking redhead from California.
My dad was a pot smoker.
Then he should have loved him. Should have loved him.
Maybe I shouldn't have said that on.
Who gives a shit?
Fuck.
Who gives a shit?
Get over it.
Yeah, get over. You see Joe Boo? Joe Boo says. Joe Boo says drop.
My dad smoked weed in the fucking 80s or something, and people should give a shit. No.
Everybody loves Jess Piccoli. He's beloved. Wooderson, beloved. All the pot smokers. Think about all the pot smokers in all the movies. They're all beloved. They are. Everybody loves them. Cheech and Chong. Everybody fucking loves them. Yeah. If you're the best fucking role you can get as an actor is the pot smoking kid. Everyone's gonna fucking love you. You're gonna have at least 5 funny fucking scenes in the whole movie because you're gonna be fucking stoned and something fucking ridiculous is gonna happen.
Well, I mean,
Harold and Kumar.
Harold and Kumar.
Half-baked.
Half-baked blows all those fucking.
Friday.
Friday's right there.
Yeah, you got to be careful. Friday's right there. Yeah. How do you not like Harold and Kumar?
I don't know.
They're fucking awesome.
I don't know that I ever watched it.
Oh my god. Well, you have a homework assignment because you need to watch that. Stoned. We should do this together.
Oh, watch it stoned.
We should watch it stoned. I was going to suggest that
I don't think I'm going to think it as funny as you think it is.
I think you're wrong. I think you're going to see some similarities. Eerie. So anyway, but yes, the Red Sox are in it some fucking how. They should be buyers at the trade deadline.
And fuck this guy, okay? Because he could give two shits about the Red Sox, and you know it.
They're my third team. They're my fourth team.
And I'm over here, throwing my life away because the Mets stink.
The Mets have won 6 of 8. They're not in the toilet.
They're in the toilet.
You got to start somewhere, Tom.
Well, they're climbing out of the toilet, but they're in it.
Well, they're deep in the toilet.
No,
they might be.
They're on the sidewalk.
They might have their foot stuck in a turd that won't flush.
They're halfway out of the water.
But they're still halfway in.
Half their body's in the water, half is out.
Yeah,
and
if they flush, forget it.
I know. I said they're in the toilet.
And I'm telling you, I think their foot is caught in a turd and they can't get out.
True. They're trying to step up off a turd.
They're trying to shake the turd off the right.
No, they're out of the turd. They're trying to step up off the turd, but the turd is
soft.
soft.
It's slick.
Right,
it's slick.
Right. The foot is going
slippery.
into the turd.
Turd is slippery.
But we'll see.
I'd say 6 of 8 is nothing. You have to start somewhere.
Here's the thing.
They might lose the next. Who the fuck knows?
Here's the thing, though, that's funny is like, before they had lost 6 in a row, I had stopped caring.
When won 6 in a row.
Yeah, before they had won 6 in a row,
yeah.
I had kind of stopped giving a shit.
I know. This is what they do, though. You get right to the brink of checking out.
I was checking in the scores,
yeah.
But like it wasn't even getting me angry anymore because it was comical.
Yeah, you were expecting.
It was stupid.
Yeah.
And then
that's what happens to me.
And then all of a sudden they win 2 against the Giants, and you go, oh, well, I mean that's good, but like they're not going to go out and.
They're not going to go out and sweep
go to Arizona and
sweep the Diamondbacks. Who've been playing their ass off all year.
Who have been dominating the NL West, which is a good division.
Yeah, they've been bitch slapping some people.
And
some heavyweights.
They go out there, they win a late game, and then they dominate a game.
Yeah. I thought that,
and then they win the first game in San Diego in extra innings.
Yeah.
And it's like, holy shit, this is the real.
But again, they're on that West Coast swing. Maybe they ran out of gas, and maybe the way to look at it is they took 6 out of 8 on the going at the West Coast, whatever, 3 out of 5.
Well, so
with those playing those teams,
they did the same thing earlier in the year, and it was when they were like 14-7.
Okay.
They went on a West Coast swing.
Yeah.
And they took 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers.
That's tough. That's not a joke.
They swept the A's, of course. They swept the A's. Took 2.
You and I could sweep the A's.
Took 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers. In a 4-game set against the Giants, won the first 2 games, and then they lost the last 2 and went into a complete free fall.
And they were 14-7 when that happened.
Right. Right in that range.
They've been in the toilet since.
Yeah.
Stuck in that giant turd.
Dude, so the Mets have 6 wins in July already. They had 7 in the entire month of June. 7-19 in June. If they had went
12-12.
Right. Oh my God! If they went 12-12, they'd be in a playoff spot.
Yeah, they would be.
They would be a wild card team. Instead, they're 6.5 games out of the third. Like nobody's ran away with the wild card.
But this is the thing.
With as bad as they've been.
This is the thing about baseball. The season is so fucking long.
You're right.
You're not really mathematically out of it until September, unless you're like the A's, who are already basically mathematically out of it. Yeah. Okay, but everybody else, and again, it happened last year. I'll say it now. Some team gets bit by the injury bug and falls right out, and they're in the spot right now. They're in a playoff spot right now, and they fade right out of it. And somebody has to jump into that spot. It happens every year. 1 or 2 teams experience this. One team maybe got it. One team just sinks to the bottom like the Titanic. So I don't know who that's going to be. I didn't know who it was going to be last year, but it did happen. So if I'm the Mets, you got to keep trying to win 6 out of 9, 7 out of 10.
7 games out of the third wild card.
Okay, but it's now there's how many games left?
Like 70.
72 games.
72.
And 72 fucking games.
No, you're right.
You can't tell me a team is dead when there's 72 games to go.
Also, Philly just fell out of the wild card.
I'm saying they were starting to dip a little bit.
I didn't realize it dipped at the end.
Yeah.
So San Fran actually jumped over. So Philly lost their last 2.
Yes. I'm saying they were not playing great.
Listen to who heads up the wild card in each league. So, who do you think's the first wild card team in the National League?
I would probably say Miami.
Yep.
Am I right?
The Marlins.
Well, they were in one of the spots. I didn't know where they were, but I thought they shocked me.
Number 2, I didn't realize this. Dodgers have overtaken number 2, Arizona.
Dodgers are now in first place.
Yeah.
Because of the Mets.
Right.
Yeah.
Mets swept them.
Mets swept them.
Yeah.
That's what happened. They were like 2 behind them.
I think they were in first place when the Mets got out there.
They were 1.5 up, I think, on the Dodgers. I think. And it was close. It was 1.5 or 2.
So it's Miami, Arizona, and San Francisco.
Who would have picked Miami and Arizona before the season started?
Nobody. And San Fran after what happened to them last year.
Yeah, I mean, they nosed it. They're the one that fell off the map last year.
Right.
So this is what I'm saying. And
then Philly, Milwaukee, San Diego, and the Cubs are all above the Mets.
And the Mets, I'm saying, this is the thing. And the injury bug is going to bite one of these teams. At least one, maybe 2. It happens 1 or 2 every year. So you just got to keep playing. Try and get your head above water. With the Mets, it's got to be just start by winning series.
Dude,
just start by taking Boston.
Boston's got a real shot.
Yeah, they do. They actually do. They have a real
2
shot.
games back of the Blue Jays.
Yep. And who they've owned.
Who are an inconsistent
Yeah, they've
team.
owned. They've actually done very well against the Blues this year.
Even though it's crazy to
The
me.
one team that they just is Tampa. Tampa's their kryptonite. They can't. Anybody else, they've done well against the Orioles.
Tampa's started to fall back a little bit.
Dude, they lost 6 in a row.
Yeah.
They I couldn't believe it. 6 in a row. I'm like, what is happening here?
6 in a row. They're 9
up on the Red Sox.
They're still 23 games over.
That's how dominant they
23 games over, and they lost 6 in a row.
Yeah, that's how dominant they've been. But now, is it Atlanta? Who's overtaken them?
Who's overtaken who?
Because Tampa doesn't have the best record in baseball anymore. They have the second best record now. It's a team in the NL that has the best record. I forget who it is. I want to say it's Atlanta, but I'm not 100% sure. I think it is Atlanta. But they had the best record all season until this 6-game losing streak. Mm-hmm.
Atlanta took them over. Atlanta's been...
They've been consistent all year. But they're Atlanta. They fucking do this every year. They're quiet. They're winning, but they're...
No.
And they've been...
No, last year, Atlanta stunk.
Until...
Remember the Mets were 10 up going into June.
Yeah, but I'm saying that this is what Atlanta just, they get better as the year goes on.
Dude, they've been playing insane baseball since last June.
Yeah. I'm saying, but if you watch Atlanta, they usually get better. They're one of those teams that ascends at the right time. They do it every year, or most every year.
But I don't know. This is a year where they played good from the start. So will they fade?
I don't know. They got their lineup, and
they look unbeatable right now. They look unbeatable right now.
They are well managed. They've got depth.
Talent.
They can beat you in a number of ways.
They got bats and arms.
I'm saying they can beat you in a number of ways. They can beat you 2-1. They can beat you 10-8. They can.
They're almost never, and they can also beat you 10-0.
Yeah, they can do that too.
More than the 2-1.
I'm just saying they can win a multitude of ways. Yeah. There are many teams I can say that about. Maybe the Dodgers, but Tampa. I think. But Houston.
Without a doubt.
Houston. So there are some teams like that, but there aren't many. There's maybe 5 or 6 of them at the most. I think they can beat you like in 3 or 4 different ways. So anyway, the Red Sox are not one of those teams. What the Red Sox are is the best managed team in baseball. Alex Cora, to me, if they stay like this the rest of the year, Alex Cora has to be managing.
I want to look at the Red Sox schedule because they just ended on a 5-game winning streak.
Yeah, and they swept. They actually swept the team. The Red Sox were struggling with inferior opponents all year. They actually swept Oakland, but they finally did something they were supposed to do. And,
let's look at this because I want to see who they play coming out of the break. Oh wow. Okay, so they have an opportunity coming out of the break.
They do.
All right.
Yeah.
They play 3 games. At Chicago, Cubs.
Yeah, they start Friday night. Yeah.
Now the Cubs are not as bad as you think.
They're not. They're in the wild card hunt.
They're
ahead of you guys right now. Yeah.
But
Boston could help you. Boston could help you right now.
If you're Boston and you can take 2 out of 3, then you go to Oakland and you could potentially sweep.
Who's quitting?
Yes.
Who's quitting? Dude, did you see what this poor shortstop for Oakland did on Sunday?
What?
This dude made his own personal Bad News Bear gag reel. In, I think, 3 innings, he had 3 of the dumbest, most pathetic errors you've ever seen.
No.
In like 3 straight innings in that game. Oakland was actually ahead.
Throwaways or misplays?
The first one, he's going back, paddling in the short left field on a pop-up. It goes into the glove. Somehow it pops out, and then he trips over nothing, somersaults over, and then grabs his back like he's been hit with a bat. So he's on the ground, right? He's on the ground. And everybody's going, and his teammates don't know what to do. He's like, what the fuck happened? Yeah. Other than you dropped the ball, dickhead, right? So they help him up, like he's an old man. And, he pulls a Joe, he shrugs it off. And gets back in there and shows that at the moment, that tough moment, he does that Joel thing, And then the next inning, on one play, all right, he comes in on the infield, fucking ball pops through the glove again, and as he's shortstop. Now, as he's going to pick it up, he's walking to go get it. The guy who he couldn't even throw out at first is watching him. This is how well coached the Red Sox are. He's watching him the whole time.
And he gets the second.
And he gets the second. The kid picks it up and then he throws it. He misses the throw and it goes into the outfield. The guy takes the. This is all in like 1 or 2 innings. This guy literally is like,
so
oh my God.
You're making the point. They really need to sweep that.
They
series.
should sweep these guys.
So
if they take 2 out of
2 out of 3 from the Cubs, and then they sweep Oakland, then they go back home, and guess who they play?
Tampa.
My beloved Mets.
You?
Mm-hmm. In Fenway.
Oh shit.
And if you're the Red Sox, you got to be one.
We should fly.
Oh man, imagine that. Yeah. Imagine that. I would.
We'd never survive. That'd be so much fun.
I would fucking.
We would never survive that weekend. Is that a weekend series?
It is.
Oh Jesus.
Yeah, because remember when you were when you asked me originally about the Cape?
Yeah.
Ooh, somebody hit a home run.
2-2.
Yeah, come
it's
on,
It's a Donnie
NL.
in the 7th.
Come on, NL.
It's a Donnie in the 7th.
Dude, National League never fucking wins. My dad told me when he was young, the National League always won.
They did.
And ever since I've been around,
these things tend to go in spurts like this. They just do.
Yeah.
But
okay,
yeah.
so
anyway, back to the.
So 2 out of 3 from the Cubs.
Yeah.
Potential sweep of Oakland.
If they do that, then they get the Mets
at
Fenway.
home.
In Fenway.
And if Dude, you should take 2 out of 3 from the Mets.
But the thing is, if the Mets start playing well again, that could be a very interesting series. I'm just saying.
It's a big series.
It would be. I'm saying if the Mets start playing well out of the break and take another 6 out of 8 going in there, then that series is going to mean something to both teams.
Okay, now then that's where it gets a little more difficult. After the Mets, you got 2 at home against Atlanta. You could easily get swept.
You got to take one.
You could easily get swept.
Take one. I'm not expecting them to take 2 from Atlanta anywhere, but one. Take one. Take one.
Then you got to go West Coast again. Damn.
To who?
So you're in Oakland. You fly back home. You play the Mets in Atlanta. Then you fly to San Fran. Why wouldn't you play them?
Why would you stay out there?
So you fly out to San Fran.
Is this the fault of a Taylor Swift concert? Is that what's going on?
I don't know here. That's weird.
Where they have to redo. That is a lot.
So you fly back out to San Fran.
That's tough.
Then you got 3 in Seattle, who's no schlubs.
No, they're no schlubs.
Then you come home to face Toronto,
who we've done well against.
So, but I mean, that's a stretch where if you take care of business in your stretch,
you have to, because that's where it could go off the rails if you don't.
Right. Because if you have a bad showing against those teams,
and here comes Atlanta,
then you got
to go to San Fran,
then Seattle, then Toronto,
yeah.
and you could be looking at a bad situation.
Well, we're gonna find a look. The point is, they're in a place where I never thought they'd be.
Yeah,
I didn't think I'd be hanging that shirt for a while, but they've played well. Cora has pushed all the right buttons.
Last year, we looked at their schedule. Do you remember?
I do.
And we said the next 2 to 4 weeks will tell us.
Yep.
I'm telling you, this is setting up so good for them. After the tough stretch, okay, where they come home for Toronto, then you get 4 with KC in Boston, followed by 3 against Detroit in Boston. Then
you got a window.
Then quick flight down to Washington to bitch slap the Nats.
The listless Nats.
Then you bounce back up to New York and you smack around the Yankees, who suck.
Is he ever going to play again?
I don't know. I heard guys. Boomer Esiason was talking about the toe. Like he might never be the same again.
What the hell did he do to it?
He tore a tendon or something.
Was this in that outfield play where he went into the fucking?
In L.A. Oh shit! When he made that catch and he busted the door open
with his foot.
But Boomer Esiason was like, dude, toe shit is really bad for guys that size.
Of course it is.
Any kind of foot injuries with big guys.
Yes.
And I'm like, damn, if a toe takes...
It's harder...
He's such a great player.
He's an amazing player. It'd be awful to see. You don't see that happen to anybody. Even a Yankee, I don't want to see that happen to. And by all accounts, he's a class act. That sucks. So I hope that's not the case. But the Yankees obviously have not been the same team without him. But he's their soul. He's the soul of that team. He is. And I mean that in a very non-Marcus Smart kind of way.
Oh, shit. Dude, but
So
they really have.
The Red Sox have a chance,
dude. If they play well in July and
You're
August,
saying there's a chance.
No, if they play well in July and August, that's so big because September's tough for them.
When's the trade deadline?
It's the last week in July. It's like July 28th or something.
I have been saying this since day one.
Closer?
No, they got a closer. Kenley Jansen is good.
Oh, that's right.
He's good. They actually got him under my. I didn't know about him, but he's legit. He's got 15.
So what do they
16,
need at the trade
They
deadline?
need a frontline starter. Now this is
What
where.
about Max Scherzer?
This is where.
I'm dead serious.
I know you are. That's what I'm afraid of.
Do you think anybody like that would take a Max Scherzer? What about Verlander? I think
You're
Verlander
telling me
would do
that the
well.
Mets are going to throw in the towel? Because that's what that would mean.
So we just did the
I
schedule
don't think
thing with the
they're gonna-
Red Sox. Let's do it with the Mets.
'cause I don't think the Mets are going to. This owner doesn't strike me as a guy who's going to quit.
No,
He doesn't.
No. He said in his press conference, if we're in the same place now at the trade deadline, it wouldn't be too smart to go all in.
He did say that.
He said, I might be dumb to just sit back and let. So,
But I don't think Boston, given what's happened with Chris Sale, would take on a situation like that.
but it's like a 1-year thing.
Well, it's an expiring contract, so
Right.
yeah, they could play out the season.
So if he
and see
doesn't do well,
yeah. What is it? But what are the Mets going to ask for in return?
something like a prospect.
Yeah. And
So the Mets,
look,
the Mets will say, "Look, we'll pay $30 million."
Yeah.
The
They
Mets
probably
will,
eat half his salary,
maybe
but,
more,
yeah.
because it's
Year
$43 million. So if the Mets say, "Hey, we'll eat $25 million, but you got to give us like a pretty good prospect,"
Well, this is the thing, and I can see why this deal would be enticing for some. But here's the thing. The Red Sox over the past 3 years have quietly built through this farm system. They've got 2 starters in there now that came right up through, and they're both. One guy is 5-1 in June in the area of 2.1. The other guys had 4. These are. I would not give up any pitching prospects.
And that's probably what the Mets would be asking for.
That's probably what the Mets are going to ask for. Because and the Red Sox have 2 guys right now that have come up that are at the big club and they're doing well. And if I'm the Red Sox, I don't think I give up young talent for old talent. If I'm in it already, you got to go find a guy who's not 38 years old. Like 31, 32, maybe somewhere in there. A veteran who's been around, he's got years left. And maybe he's been good, but never been on a team with a chance to win. Something like that.
I'm trying to think of guys on teams that like aren't going to be in it.
Well, this is the thing.
But most of those teams, I don't know them that well.
Well, this is the thing. This is where the front office has to do its job.
Yeah.
And find that guy, and then figure out, all right, what are we willing to part with?
Yeah.
To get him, and does that deal make sense? This is where, and look, they're in this position. I never thought you didn't think they were going to be. We both thought they were going to be in. Hey, look, they're in the
last place.
They're in last place, but they're in the best fucking division we've ever seen. So it's like,
well, dude, their September schedule is scary.
Of course it is.
So they better fucking do their shit.
They got to get. If they get a front, look at. Here's the thing.
September is Tampa, Baltimore.
If they just stay where they are and they're 2 back going in September, they're in a great spot. The question is, what will they have added? Does Chris Sale come back healthy? Because if he does, and he looks like the guy we saw, I didn't say it wasn't a long shot. I'm saying these are the possible scenarios.
Sure.
Okay. If he comes back and he looks like he did the last 6 starts, they have something. If they can find one more starter, you got to have 2.
Yeah.
You got to have 2.
At least.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and if you got they have the closer. Their middle relief looks good. Their lineup, they're 4. Look, they were 4th in average. They were 5th in RBIs or 5th in hits. They were 8th in RBIs. Their offense is producing. Their pitching over the past 6 weeks has gotten dramatically better. 5 weeks has been much better. So, and then most of these guys have come up through the farm system.
Yeah.
So if I'm the Red Sox, I'm not going to trade all this. And then we're contending right now for a 38-year-old guy who has an injury history. I don't care what his name is, and I like Scherzer. I respect him, but I don't think you give up based on what I'm seeing.
Maybe for Verlander.
How old is Verlander?
40.
No.
Dude,
he's
here's
older.
the fucked up thing. He won the Cy Young last year, had a under 2 ERA.
I know, he was ridiculous.
The Mets pay him $43 million,
He was ridiculous.
and he's average.
Yeah, he shits the bed.
But here, let me tell you the Mets schedule. Okay,
yeah, let's see what that is.
Coming out of the All-Star break, they have a chance too.
Of course they do.
So they play 3 against the Dodgers at home. Okay, tough 3 games.
Okay.
If they took 2 out of 3 from the Dodgers in LA. So I know they're capable of taking 2 out of 3 at home.
The Mets can play with anybody.
Exactly.
On paper, they can match up with anybody. This ain't about talent.
No. Right. It's about showing the fuck up.
Yeah. It's ain't about this. It's not like they don't have the manpower. They
Right.
do. They do.
Play the way
Show
you
up.
know you can.
Yeah, play to your. If the Mets play to their potential.
Stop trying to do shit you don't need to do.
If the Mets play to their talent level, the rest. And I said this to you, water seeks its level. That's why I think they'd eventually make a run.
I hope you're right.
All right. And again, that's why I don't know what's going to happen with the Red Sox. But with the Red Sox, this pitching staff is looking like wow. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But with the Mets, the talent's there.
Yeah.
On both sides. On the ball, whether it's they've got the talent, they've got to his point start playing to the level their talent level, and if they do that, I got news for you, they'll be in the playoffs.
Yeah,
they're not going to win the division, but they'll get in as a wild card.
No. They're fucking.
Yeah, they're not catching
games out.
The Braves are playing too fucking.
Yeah.
If the Braves did no way, the Braves have to really. Sink.
And if the Mets see the Braves in the playoffs, the Braves will stomp them.
Maybe.
Even though somehow the Mets always fucking play right with the Braves.
They
always play right
the Braves,
with them.
The Mets should have beaten the Braves.
They should have
like
swept them
5
in
times
Atlanta
this year already.
They should have swept them in Atlanta.
I think there are 5 games that they lost them, but they should have won all fucking 5 of them. Yeah. This isn't about they can't play with the fucking Braves. So they just have this choke button that they keep hitting against.
Right. Well, it's the pressure button, and it's like, y'all, you don't have to feel pressure.
They look at the Braves the way most people look at the Yankees.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
Well, because the Yankees have been, the
carry
Braves have been better than the Yankees over the last 40 fucking years.
I know, but I'm saying historically speaking, the Yankees have had this thing over everybody in the back of their head. And it wasn't when the Red Sox broke through.
The Red Sox busted it.
Yeah. They busted it for everybody. Because they had this aura about them, like the Celtics and the Lakers
knocked them down.
They knocked them down 2 pegs, the Red Sox.
All right, so listen to this. Mets come out 3 against the Dodgers at home. Then 3 against the White Sox at home. That's a sweepable series.
That's got to be a sweepable series.
Then they go to Boston, where Boston's respectable, but you could take 2 out of 3.
They could. They easily could.
Then they go 2 at Yankee Stadium, and if the Yankees are still playing like this,
if
Mets
Judge
should take 2.
If Judge doesn't come back,
you can beat that team.
The Yankees are going to sink.
Right,
they're sinking now.
Then they get 4 against Washington in New York.
They should fucking crush them.
But see, they struggle with these types of teams.
But the thing is, if they play to their talent level, that's a sweep.
Yeah. Well,
that's a 4-game sweep.
I'll take 3 out of 4.
The Nationals stink.
Dude.
If it wasn't for the A's.
The Nationals have a winning record against us this year.
Because you guys take them lightly. Like the Celtics.
That's my
point.
The
Celtics lost 3 games to the Orlando Magic.
So I'll take 3 out of 4.
Okay, fine.
Okay?
I think it's a sweep.
Okay.
3 out of 4,
but I'll take
it.
Okay. Because I've seen the alternative.
We have. Yes.
Okay. Then after 4 with Washington, you go 3 with KC in KC. That's sweepable.
That's a sweep.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then it gets a little tougher. Baltimore, Cubs, Atlanta.
But again,
you do well up to there.
Baltimore and the Cubs are beatable.
Baltimore, I think.
Red Sox have done very well against them.
Yeah,
Red Sox have taken
Baltimore has kept pace with the fucking Rays, dude.
Well, the Rays went into it. The Rays actually went into a slump.
I know, but
They actually went into a slump.
But there's still 23 fucking games over.
And they're still 6 games ahead of the fucking Orioles with this 6-game losing streak.
Right, but they're only a couple ahead of the. Are they 6 games ahead of the Orioles?
6 games ahead of the Orioles.
And how many are they ahead of y'all? Like 12?
9.
9.
The Red Sox have been on fire.
Y'all are only 3 games behind the Orioles? No way.
No, I think it's 4. Hold on. Let me see.
That's it?
Hold on. Let me find out. I have it here. ESPN. God
damn this.
I know it's just. All-Star upgrade. There was 2-2. Well, look, they got Poppy.
I thought it was 2-2.
Yeah, why is it? What happened?
They must have reversed that home run.
What happened?
Remember, he hit it down the foul line.
Oh, it didn't count.
It must have been foul.
Okay, well,
you've
got A-Rod, Poppy, Jeter in the boot. Look at this, is crazy. Who would have thought that?
They're actually pretty good together.
They are pretty good together.
Poppy's funny.
Yeah, Poppy's always been funny. I was looking at, what was I looking at?
Boston's 9 games out, and Baltimore's 2 games out. So they're 7 games better than the Red Sox. But that's still pretty good.
Of course it is.
Because Baltimore is 21 games over.
Yep. They're 19 games over.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Sorry.
19. But still, but 2 back. You're right about that. 2 back. But the bottom line is, you look at this fucking division. It's murderer's row. This AL East, I've never seen.
The Yankees might be the worst team in the division.
And they're 49-42, and they don't have their best player.
How are they 7 games over?
Because they're the Yankees. They're the fucking Yankees.
And that just buys them that much? I mean,
yes, they got other players on that roster.
Garrett Cole has been really good.
Yeah, they got other players on that roster, you know.
I know, but dude, when the Mets played them, I was like, who the fuck is this guy? Who is that guy?
This,
and the Mets should have won both
I
games,
will concede
but
this
of course
to you.
they didn't.
You know what? If you think about it, this might be the first time in both our lifetimes when we look at the Yankees roster and it's not loaded with stars.
It's not.
It's usually loaded with stars everywhere, from the closer to the fucking outfielder to the first baseman.
But it's been a few years since that was the case.
I'm saying they are not the star-studded.
No.
Because again, everybody has money now. Remember before it was Steinbrenner could just outspend everybody, but
Who
now
were we talking about that with?
Joel. No.
Yeah,
it was Joel. Yeah, it was Joel because he was trying to say, well, they can. I'm like, the Mets spend now. This guy's outspending the fucking Yankees. The Dodgers have money. Right. There are teams that are spending like
the Astros.
The Red Sox were spending like that up until about 4 years ago, and they had a ton of talent. I mean, so it's not the Yankees can't. They don't have the monopoly anymore.
No,
they do not. So,
but they still have some sort of aura that
the Yankees
that like. Even though they're not that,
they're the ghost of the Yankees, but they're still the ghost of the Yankees. They're still the ghost of the Yankees. They're not the ghost of the Nationals. They're the ghost of the Yankees.
But it's almost like, you know what I think happened to the Yankees?
People caught up. Well, the Red Sox.
Not only did people...
The 04 Red Sox changed everything.
But think about this.
The aura of invincibility went away.
Think about this. A lot of the Yankee stars were homegrown.
That's true.
Okay, so lately, they've had guys come up that had good first years, and they thought, this is our next guy.
Yeah.
Now, of course, they weren't all homegrown. Like, they got Teixeira. They would bring guys in like that. Yeah. But
they would always do that.
Right. When you think about those homegrown guys like Jorge Posada and Jeter and Mariano Rivera and Bernie Williams, they were all homegrown and then became stars. Yeah. So they've always built that farm system.
They had a core.
Yeah, they always
the Yankees had
solid core that became like Hall of Famers.
Their core is Aaron Judge right now. That's it.
Exactly. That's it.
He has no running.
He's got Giancarlo Stanton who's on fumes.
Yeah.
And then guys like Gleyber Torres have not been what they thought
they were going to be.
They had Greg Bird, the big first baseman. They thought he was the next Teixeira.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be. He fizzled.
So I think that's what's kind of happened to them.
Yeah. No, this is true. This is all valid.
Because the money helps when you can add it to a core, like you said.
The Yankees had three things going for them. They had a great farm system. They had the resume as an organization, and they had an owner that had money falling out of his asshole. Literally, fucking Steinbrenner would shit $20,000 a night. Just fucking shit it out. What
did Steinbrenner do? Where did he get his money? Do you know?
It was the family. That family. I think he was born into it. I think.
Really?
I think he was. I'm not 100% sure of that, but in any event, he's got money. He had money like you read about. And at that time, he had the monopoly. But the 04 Red Sox busted down a wall that people, unless if you don't understand, the Yankees had that aura about them.
Dude, the crazy part is, I was a Met fan.
Yeah.
And it felt like the Mets beat the Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I felt the kind of joy that I would have felt if the Mets had won. Yeah. At least I think, because the Mets have never won. But like,
the
Yankees had that. They had that thing over everybody.
They were the evil empire.
Yes.
Because Steinbrenner was hated. People hated him. He would flaunt it too.
And Yankee fans were ruthless. They were so just looked down on everybody. Yeah, like 27. You guys are fucking pathetic.
Most of you didn't see 20 of them. So, I mean, you weren't alive. So, I mean,
more than that.
Yeah, by more than that. And, well, Jeter's group won 5. So, and they won
4.
He won 5.
Because of the late one. Was he
won 5. He has 5.
He was with the 2009 with A-Rod?
No, he was no, they won 5 from like 90 to 2000 and whatever, and then 2009 was the last one.
They won 5?
They won 5 with Jeter.
Sure?
Jeter was
I thought they won 4 in a row.
No, 5.
Or 4 out of 5.
They won. No, it wasn't 4 out of 5, but they won like 5 in 9 years.
I thought it was like 96, 97, 98.
They won one before
99, and then...
They won 5 with Jeter, and then 09 was the last one. Jeter was not on that team.
He wasn't. Yeah, he was.
09?
Jeter and A-Rod.
That was, no.
That wasn't them?
No, he was on the
it was.
A-Rod was on the last one they won.
That was 09.
I don't think it was 09.
I promise.
Hold on. Nah, look this up.
How many? Dude, it all fades together. It's tough.
It does. No. 09 Yankees roster. You could be right.
I'm pretty sure. Because that was A-Rod's only win with them.
This was the last of that group. It was Jeter. It was Andy Pettit.
Andy Pettit was still there.
Mariano Rivera. Posada.
Yeah.
There's A-Rod. Sabat. Remember CC Sabat. Robinson Cano.
So you're right. He does have 5.
Yeah.
But it's the 4 from the late 90s.
And then the last one.
Yeah. And then the last one.
Yeah. So, but I'm saying like those are the only ones people have probably seen.
Yeah, no doubt.
Because they didn't win any in the '80s.
No,
they didn't. Like Reggie Jackson.
They stunk in
Reggie
the 80s.
Jackson was the '70s. No, they had Mattingly. They were good, but they weren't great.
They weren't playoff teams.
No.
Now it was a different playoff system.
It was 2 teams got in.
Yeah.
You had it was an East and a West, and that was it. 4 teams played in the postseason. That was it. It was fucking boring as hell. Yeah. And now I love it. It's better now. That fucking wild card thing last year was fucking gold. Best thing. I fucking loved it. Best thing Major League Baseball ever did. And the Red Sox weren't even in it. It was fucking amazing.
I can't imagine that they used to. At some point, it was just the winner of each league played in the World Series.
Yeah.
Then it was the winner of the 2 divisions,
which are like 15 teams.
Dear God, you got to beat out 16 teams to get in the playoffs.
Yeah, it was stupid. It was stupid. And again, it's baseball. It's America's pastime, so it got away with it for a long time.
I guess so.
But then football became football.
Right.
And now
basketball
became basketball.
But basketball's always had half the fucking league in the playoffs, and I loved it.
The 80s, Bird and Magic, what they did for that league. And then Jordan came right on their heels.
Dude, as a kid, watching NBA on TNT in the playoffs when they would have games on TBS and
wonderful.
TNT.
And they had games at midnight.
Oh, my God, it was amazing.
It was like watching the NCAA tournament.
Right. I'd watch the Knicks against somebody, and then I'd watch like the Clippers and somebody.
We would when Bird and Magic were in their heyday. This was fucking glorious. You'd have the Celtics at 7:30, and then you have LA at 10:30.
Amazing.
It was fucking amazing. It was fucking great.
It was awesome.
And they were on a collision course every year. It was fucking awesome.
And why wouldn't you want to have a lot of teams in the playoffs?
No, it's better.
Yeah.
First of all, it's better for business because you have more fans engaged to spend more money, more tickets are being sold at the gate because your team has a chance.
More chances, more fun.
It's more money for all. I wouldn't do. How is this bad for business? So I mean, the bottom line is, baseball finally fucking figured this out, and they're going to benefit huge from it.
And the fucking college football playoff is
finally going to wait till this thing happens. This 12.
We got to wait another year.
Well, they're still waiting for they're still trying to get these teams in the power conference.
Well, the thing is, you can't change that rule and the next year do it because they've already got the logistics for the current process next year.
Yeah, too many things. Yeah, that's the thing. That's all. You have to play that out.
Like they've got Super Bowls planned for how many years?
Well, they're bowl games.
Right.
You got and now you're going to use the bowl games for playoff sites. That's cool. Fucking glorious. That'll be just. Oh my God, these fan bases are going to travel. This is going to be awesome.
Ooh, Pete Alonso's in.
Peter, there he is.
Subbed in. He's
That's an interesting Mets hat. I've never seen that.
Well,
color.
it's the.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah,
so it looks like they're all the same color.
Strange unis. Strange All-Star unis. Yeah. Green and blue. Is that navy blue or black?
You know what I don't like about an All-Star uniform? When it's just kind of blah.
Yeah.
It's just like. They
used to have
sometimes they're fun.
They used to have the colors match the symbol of the league, the National League, and the bird would be on there with the somewhere with the symbol of it. It looked cool, and the AL had the eagle and all that shit. It was cool.
Yeah.
And
sometimes they just let guys.
They may still be on there somewhere. Those symbols. They used to have them
with baseball. I kind of prefer when they let the guy wear their own uniform. And everybody's out there.
But it's all the away uniforms.
Right.
So it's all the
I kind of like that because it's cool. You're all part of a team, but you're repping your team.
But you can still put that really cool symbol on the shirt. Too.
Yeah, of course. Which would be cool. But basketball, I thought, always did well.
They did.
With having a cool All-Star uniform. Yeah, I remember when it was in Phoenix or San Antonio. I always wanted a Ewing. Yeah. I think it was a Ewing All-Star jersey because it had a cactus on it.
Yeah.
And it was teal. And I always wanted that fucking jersey.
When in the 80s, the East squad was red and the West squad was navy blue.
Red and blue, yeah.
Yeah, that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
And those games were amazing because they were that was when they were trying to prove who the better conference was and it actually mattered to these guys. And they would go at it. It's not this shit now where it's all fucking who can shoot the 3 from 40 feet and who's going to score 50 on nobody and nobody's fucking
the other thing
the dunk drill. But every fucking coward that didn't participate in the dunk contest is the first one taken off for a fucking bunny to show the crowd. Where the fuck was that last night, you fucking clowns? These gutless fucking.
That's a good point.
That would piss me off. You couldn't go. Why didn't you do that last time when there's money on the line?
Yeah.
Now they'll play. Now I'm gonna go into a game. It's not a fucking game. It's a fucking scrimmage. It's a glorified fucking show off scrimmage. That's all it fucking is. Yeah. They have destroyed the NBA All-Star game.
Yeah, the NBA.
They fucking destroyed it.
The NBA All-Star weekend. To me, used to compete with MLB in terms of best All-Star extravaganza.
Dunk contest, the best dunkers dunked.
Dude, even the skills competition, the best point guards did the skills competition.
The best 3-point guys were every fucking one of them. It was like a rite of passage. You had you had to be in that fucking, and Julius Erving. There was a dunk contest with Julius Erving, Dominic Wilkins, and Michael Jordan in it. Talk about iconic.
Three of the best
ever. They went at each other. Yeah. And are you fucking kidding? You would never fucking see that today. It pisses me. Can't hurt my brand. Yeah. Can't lose or risk losing. Oh my God. Pussies. That's pussies, the whole lot of you. Kevin Durant never entered the 3-point contest. Fuck him. Pussy.
Why didn't he? He could win the shit.
Of course he could. He's a pussy.
So y'all were talking.
Larry Bird's going in there going, "Hey, who's playing for second?"
You and Skinner were talking about that.
Yeah, we were.
Because you were talking about Tatum.
Yeah.
And you brought up a point that I made, by the way, that Tatum did not fucking have
the leadership thing.
No, he never took Grant Williams back when Jimmy.
You and I talked about it.
Well, I brought it up, and you said I was the first one to say it.
You were,
but you didn't give me credit when you were talking to Skinner.
I forgot.
It's all right.
I can't remember everything.
I'm just calling you out.
I'm giving you credit now.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
It's on the air.
No, so, and you were talking about how, or Skinner was talking about how Jason Tatum wants everybody to like him.
Yeah, and Jaylen Brown was like, it was like, next question, you didn't even answer it.
Right, he didn't answer the question. It's like, sometimes, because he's worried about working out with Jimmy Butler in the summer.
Yeah, which is a good point.
So a lot of times, it annoys me when the older generation, criticizes the more current generation for that stuff. A lot of times it does. And then,
however,
and at the same time, I can admit it was different back then. We're talking about Patrick Ewing.
It was better.
Talking about Patrick Ewing and the Knicks.
Patrick Ewing didn't want to play with Michael Jordan. He wanted to beat him.
That's
why Patrick Ewing will always have my respect, because he wasn't afraid of it. Fuck that, I'm going to beat him. He would never go jump and join him.
These guys would get in fights at the drop of a fucking
yes, they would.
Because they really did fucking.
They hated each other.
And to me, I don't think you have to hate. When I used to play sports, there was people.
Better when there's hate.
No,
it's more competitive.
It is more competitive.
It's more passion. It's more anger. It means more. It's everything. Yeah. That's why it's better. Styles make fights.
Yeah. But
it's just that simple.
So I found myself thinking about that as we were talking about Patrick Ewing tonight, and I was like, there was something about it. I still love watching games today, and there are some of the greatest games I've ever seen in the past 10 years. That Celtics win in Game 6, that's one of the greatest fucking finishes I've ever seen.
Biggest choke jobs ever.
No, I know. It ended bad. I'm just saying, I think I'm able to appreciate both sides of that, argument now, because I think for a while there I felt like that's just old guys saying they want it to be like it was.
I want the competition back.
I know.
What is wrong with that?
There's nothing.
It was better TV then. When you knew,
But to me, I think you can be competitive as fuck without hating that person you're playing.
It's not that you hate them personally, you hate them professionally.
Right.
Because they're in your way.
Right.
That's the difference. Yeah. You can respect somebody, and you got to be cutthroat. They're in your way. Mm-hmm. This is what made that era they call it the golden era of basketball, because it's not that they didn't respect you. They did respect, but at the same time, they knew what Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum still haven't learned. Draymond Green is trying to take your fucking talent. Fucking help him up.
I thought that was a great.
I'm not saying kick him when he's down, but don't help him up either.
Well, and especially Draymond.
And Jimmy Butler,
because Draymond would stab you in the fucking
in a heartbeat. Draymond Green punched out his own fucking teammate. Right. You're gonna fucking help this asshole up. This is the whole point. This was Skinner's point. And Skinner was 100% right about it. Yeah. And this is why we get on them, because you can't win a championship unless you have a certain dislike for your opponent.
Maybe.
Because you got to beat them.
I don't know.
And if you're too busy thinking about your off-season workout program together, how the fuck are you supposed to beat them for a championship?
Yeah. So I think
because you're afraid you might have to face them in the summertime. Oh, no. You think Jimmy Butler would have given two shits, Jalen, if he walked in with that fucking ring on his finger? Yeah. No.
Yeah. No,
and by the way,
I'm not sure I agree 100%, but I think you've gotten me up to about
85%. By the way, we talked about this. I said to you, I brought up the point, Bam Adebayo and Tatum, Bam Adebayo would cut off communication before the fucking series. He wouldn't talk to him.
We did talk about that.
Okay, but Tatum didn't understand what was going on. That's because you're fucking stupid, Tatum, because he knows you're in his fucking way, and he gets it, and you don't. Yeah. Jimmy Butler didn't fucking talk to you. Jimmy Butler
has that mentality.
Jimmy Butler was talking to the fucking Celtic bench as he was shitting on Grant Williams, and nobody did a damn thing about it. You were the one who noticed it. You were the one who noticed it. He is shitting on your eighth guy. Where the fuck are the two All-NBA guys to fucking go, hey, knock that shit off? You were the one who brought that up.
But now, I didn't know that was because Tatum's friend. If that was because
Jaylen Brown and him work out together.
Yeah. So to me, if you didn't do that because he's your friend, I'm sorry. If that was my friend, I'd have no problem saying "fuck you."
Yeah.
Don't be a bitch. Come at me.
Come at me. Don't fucking pick
Come
on
at
the.
me.
Don't pick
You
on the
know who
eighth
the
guy.
fuck I am.
Yeah. Don't go picking on the eighth guy on the bench, Jimmy.
Right.
I'm fucking right here.
Right. Like,
be a fucking
but,
man.
like, why
and
is that? Why is that hard to do?
Let me ask
your
you this.
friend?
He fucking went after in the Sixers series when Harden lit him up. Jaylen Brown went to the coach and goes, "I got him in game 2." And
Right.
walked. Why couldn't he do this with
why
fucking?
would you do that with Jimmy?
Why would you do it with Jimmy Butler? Or why would you do it with Gabriel? That kid Gabe Vincent who fucking shit all over the Celtics. If you can.
Caleb Martin.
Yeah.
I know he's a big man.
He's 6'7".
Oh.
He's not
So
a big
he is
man.
a wing.
He's a wing. He's an
He could've
undrafted wing who kicked Jaylen Brown's ass from pillar to post in Game
Kicked
7.
everybody's ass.
Yeah, but when Tatum had a problem, remember first series, that. Okay, where's Jaylen Brown stepping up, going? I'm a 250. I'm that dude. I'm 295. I'm watching. I'm gonna fucking take this whole team, and he didn't do it. In fact, he disappeared.
Yeah, to
he
me,
fucking disappeared.
So if like that really boggles my mind because I'm friends with people, and if I was competing against them, I could have a competitive streak against them.
There's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, exactly. It's fun.
It's in their case, it's your job.
Right, and it's fun. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
But to
when
stand
it gets
there on
heated,
the
it's
side
better.
But to stand there on the side and think, oh, I don't want to get involved in that because like I like both of them.
You want to watch, and again, he's gonna hate me for this, but I'm gonna say it because this was the last. You want to watch competitiveness at its best. You go back to 1988, Game 7, Boston, Atlanta, Bird and Dominique. That fourth quarter is one of the greatest 12 minutes.
I've never seen it.
You need to watch it. That was street ball versus fundamental.
You say it twice a week.
Yeah, because you haven't watched it yet.
All right.
And I think if you watched it, you would come away going, you know something, that's epic.
Can you text it to me because I'll forget.
I'll find it. But Bird guaranteed the win before the game, and Dominique was like, "Fuck you, Larry," and he is shitting all over the fucking Celtics. And in the fourth quarter, Bird goes, "All right, that's it." And fucking, it was fucking unbelievable. They were just going.
So were they guarding each other?
No. Well, on some positions they were, on some positions they weren't.
That would have been crazy.
Well, there were some times where because they actually ran half court offenses.
Could Larry guard him?
On the post, yes. On the wing, no.
Because he would go by him.
He's quick. Dominique was quick.
He was like lightning.
Dominique Wilkins should have been on that dream team. I'm just saying it right now.
What? No, he wasn't on there.
He wasn't on there. They put Scottie Pippen instead of him, and I will tell you right now.
You think better than Scottie?
You give Dominique Michael Jordan, tell me what he does with him.
Just like give any star.
Just saying. Dominique led the NBA in scoring. More than once.
But do you think he could have coexisted with Jordan?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could have.
Because I don't really know what type of player he was.
Dominique Wilkins.
Could he play off the ball, or was he ball dominant?
No, he played off the ball. They had Doc Rivers was the point guard.
Was he a 3 or a 4?
He was a 3. Dude, the threes in the 80s. Bird, Dr. J, James Worthy, fucking.
Doc Rivers was in Atlanta?
He was the point guard on that team.
I didn't realize
Doc Rivers made 4 All-Star teams.
I remember Doc on the Knicks. I like Doc.
Yeah, Doc's a hell of a player. He was a hell of a coach. He won a title in Boston. He was a great point guard. The thing is, like, that Bernard King, those small forwards in the 80s, oh my fucking God. Julius, Bird, Worthy, Dominique, Bernard King, Terry Cummings, who no one talks about in Milwaukee, was 25 a night. Just fucking. Alex English in Denver, 25 a night. No one even talks about him. They were the threes and oh my God. Tom Chambers, fucking Seattle, another 6'10" white guy.
Who was the short point guard in Portland?
Terry Porter. Division III.
He was fucking good, man.
He was nasty.
He was fucking good.
He was nasty. And I'm telling you, look at that was the golden age.
Terry Porter.
It was the golden age.
Terry Porter was one of the guys in NBA Jam.
Your boy came out in 84, 85, Ewing with that class, Ewing, Jordan, and Barkley. That was the fight. And John Stockton, who nobody talks about. That was that class. Damn. Are you fucking kidding me? Then you dropped them right in the middle of that? Oh, my God.
And when did David Robinson
87 was his first year.
So he was a few years after.
He was 87. He was the player of the year at Navy. Dude, that motherfucker.
Well, that's when he came out, but he didn't go right to the league, right?
Yes, he did. Well, he had to do 1 year.
He had
to do a year, yeah. When he hit the scene, oh, my God.
He was good.
He won a league MVP.
Oh, that's gone.
Is it gone?
National League just took the lead.
There you go, 3-2. All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to find Betty. Segment 2, we're going to talk NFL when we come back. Segment 2. And we'll keep you updated on this dawning of it's NL3, AL2, and the 8th. So we will update you on that. It is a Tokum Tuesday. The Redoubtable One, the Highly Questionable One. We will see you in segment 2 very, very, very shortly. Good to be back.
great to
Good
be
to be back. This is good. Good stuff. Good times. Good
Elias
times.
Diaz.
More good times to come.
Two-run
Don't
home
believe me? Ask him.
Joe.
Joe and Boo.